a big one here this Sunday afternoon. Andy McNamara alongside Steven Stamp. The Toronto Rock hosting the undefeated 12-0 Edmonton Rush. Stamper, the Rush have matched the all-time record of 12 straight victories set by the Rochester Nighthawks in 2007. What a season it has been for this Edmonton club.
They've been tremendous, and perhaps the most interesting thing about it is they started out well, had a little bit of a struggle where they were in some close games, won a few one-goal games, and they've gotten a lot better. They have looked so good in their last 3 games. It's hard to imagine the way they're playing right now, anybody beating them. The Rock are going to have a go at it, and the big thing Toronto has going for them this afternoon is Edmonton did play last night.
Yes.
They can hope the Rush are a little tired.
15-11 victory over the Nighthawks in Rochester for the Edmonton Rush. It was actually the first time this season that the team had given up more than 10 goals. So for the Rock, if you're a Toronto fan, you're hoping you catch this Edmonton team maybe a little tired, but the way Aaron Bold has been playing and that defense, second in goals against, first in save percentage, my goodness. He looks unstoppable, and that defense is even better.
Yeah, I mean, he's looked very good. Some people say he doesn't face a lot of shots because, and he looks good because the defense is so good in front of him.
Who cares?
Some of
That's
that is true. Yeah, exactly. It's a great problem to have. But it's, when he has to make the saves he's been very solid. He's got a great save percentage, which isn't that easy when you don't face a lot of shots. He's been very good. That defense is just swarming. They are all over the offensive players. I was talking to some of the referees before the game, and they were saying, from the guys who did the game last night, saying, so many times you'll have one guy engaged with the player, another one comes in and just knocks the ball free.
For the Toronto Rock, a lot of moves made at the trade deadline, trying to retool, restaff, get back something that they clearly haven't had all season long. The biggest acquisition, getting goaltender Brandon Miller from the Philadelphia Wings. Your thoughts on that acquisition? And Miller gets the start tonight over Nick Rose.
I really like the pickup. I mean, he's been a really solid goalie in this league for quite a while. We were discussing, is he a star goalie? Is he just a solid veteran? I think he has the potential to be a star. He's been on a Philadelphia team that for quite a while that hasn't been very good. They're starting to come back around, but he's really faced some tough times there, and he has been outstanding. Last summer, he was absolutely brilliant in the Mann Cup, and he played with 4 of these Toronto Rock teammates in that series, and looked great in front of them. Behind them.
Other acquisitions for the Rock, Jimmy Purvis, Kevin Ross. Thoughts on those acquirements during trade?
I like them both. I think Kevin Ross brings a big physical presence on the left side. He's not playing today, but he is a nice addition, gives them some great depth. And an offense that's already very good. Jimmy Purvis, to me, is a really good pickup. He's had such a strong season in the Canadian Lacrosse League. He's been very good offensively in CLAX, but he is a defense transition guy. He's very physical, very in your face, and he knows how to handle the ball. I think he can run. I think he's a guy who belongs in this league and is ready to prove that he should be playing all the time.
Getting to the Edmonton Rush, it's interesting to note that the Rock have the top goal scorer, or a top point getter, in assists as well, in Garrett Billings, tied for second in overall goals scored, Stephen LeBlanc. The Edmonton Rush appear nowhere in those top 10 stats, but guess what? They have multiple contributors. They are so dangerous with those young guns. Mark Matthews, Curtis Knight. You can run down the gauntlet.
Yeah, they've got so many guys who contribute well. Last night, a great example, Mark Matthews, a couple of diagonal passes that set up quick sticks, one by Curtis Knight, which you'd expect, one by John LaFontaine, one of their defenders who came up and took a shift in the offensive zone. They have a number of guys who can really contribute. You look at someone like Zach Greer, who is so dangerous in his own right, Jarrett Davis, who has been having such a strong season for them. They have a really deep roster. They move the ball. They don't have egos. They don't have a lot of flaws on any point of the floor.
Sure. How important has Derek Keenan, the head coach of the Rush, been to this club? Because for the last few years, we've known them primarily as a solid, tough defensive club, have trouble scoring, kind of chip in when they can. Now you add those top draft picks, the ones we mentioned, especially Matthews and Knight.
Yeah.
You add that offensive element to it. Derek Keenan, I think, has done a tremendous job coaching.
I think he's done a great job coaching, and as the GM, just a fabulous job adding all those pieces that make the team click the way that they do. I think he's a tremendous coach. I have a ton of respect for him. I think he's one of the great lacrosse minds in the game. So I've had a chance, and you have as well, to watch him with the Whitby Warriors, where he does a tremendous job every year. And he's so calm and so positive and has such a great wealth of knowledge and does such a good job of sharing it with the players. And he's very open about what he thinks about everything. I just have a great amount of respect, and I think he's a terrific coach and GM.
Well, while Edmonton has a clear stranglehold on the West Division, the Toronto Rock are in a dogfight. They have one game in hand over the Philadelphia Wings. Philadelphia won last night. The next time we're on the air at home, it'll be against the Philadelphia Wings. Late in the season, that could very well be the deciding factor of who makes the playoffs, that third and final playoff spot.
It could, especially, if Toronto doesn't win today, they go forward tied at 5-9, both teams, and that game, depending, basically whoever wins that game, gives themselves a huge edge, winning the season series. So, the tie goes to that team. So even if, whichever team can lose a game, as long as they win that one, they're in good position. So today, obviously very important, but next game here is going to be critical.
It'll come right down to the wire. I'm sure we talk about the parity all the time. It's tremendous in this East Division. It'll be very exciting. The moves the Rock made at the trade deadline, in your mind, has it been enough? Is it enough to push them over the edge to one, clinch a playoff spot, and then actually be able to maybe win a round or two?
I think it's going to depend how Brandon Miller responds, how much they play him. We heard John Lovell saying that, they didn't bring Miller in just to open a door. They want to give him a chance to play. They think he's earned the right to play. And they're very pleased with the way Nick Rose has played for the most part. Just like the rest of the team, he's had his ups and his downs for sure. If Brandon Miller can get really hot or push Nick Rose and Rose can get really hot, that is what's going to make the big difference. I think that is the key acquisition.
And maybe, too, for Miller, you have that veteran presence as a backup. Rose never had that since Cummings.
No.
You have a true pro in Miller who's been there, who's faced the struggles on some bad Philadelphia teams. That could be a real X factor from a mentoring standpoint as well, couldn't it?
It could. Brandon Miller is such a veteran guy, such a calm guy, a really positive presence around the locker room. You saw that last year, again, talking about the Six Nations Chiefs in MSL, where Evan Kirk was the starter, unquestioned. And Miller just came in every day, did his work, was ready to go whenever they needed him. When they needed him was in the third game of the Mann Cup. When Kirk started to get lit up a bit, they put Miller in, and he had a ridiculous save percentage, around 900, the rest of the Mann Cup, and was absolutely brilliant. And every morning at breakfast, every day at the games, he was the same guy. Win, lose, or draw, he was a steady, calming veteran presence.
Very important to have. Let's send it down to the floor now for the national anthem. Conway waits. Blind pass. Zach Greer back to Conway. 44 seconds left on the power play, up the post. And Miller hustled over to that left post. Make sure nothing else got in. Zach Greer, point blank range. Jesse Gamble, a second, two lays. But Miller with the stop. Miller post to post again. That was off, but they're going to count it. It was pushed away. Miller, 3-2 the score. Take us through this one, Stamper. You can't blame Brandon Miller on that one.
No.
He did everything. That defense of Toronto, the last couple of possessions have really broken down.
It's hard to fault them on that power play when you just can't cover everyone, but now we have a penalty coming. Toronto will go back to the power play.
Okay. Exchanging penalties. Damon Edwards holds up in the neutral zone. Sandy Chapman being held there by Thompson.
I kind of thought it was the other way around.
Well,
holding each other.
There you go. Oh, and okay. No need for the power play. Toronto with the extra man with the hand up in the air. The official goes to Josh Sanderson. We got a ball game here, folks. We're all tied up at 3.
It's not going to matter a whole lot at this point with just 19 seconds left to play. Edmonton full value for their 13th win in a row this season.
13 straight. 10 seconds left. And the Edmonton Rush. Conway holds on. 3, 2, 1. And it is over. The Edmonton Rush set a National Lacrosse League record with their 13th straight win to start a season breaking the 2007 12-0 Rochester Nighthawks. Congratulations, Edmonton. What an accomplishment. What a team. What an effort tonight. They take down Toronto 13-10.
Exactly.